Today's vlog is going to be about food, so if you don't like food, you should stop watching right now. Yesterday was my birthday, my 26th birthday, and I want to thank everyone who came out to spend the day with me, eat with me, play archery tag, or just wish me a happy birthday on Facebook or send me a message. Thank you so much. Today is another story. Today is post-birthday, which means I ate a lot of food yesterday because I love food. Now I have to get back on my diet and I have to get back to my training. This happens to be a deload week for me, so it's less training, which in turn means slightly less food, depending on your goal. But for me, it means a little bit less food. I don't want to gain any fat. I'm training less, so I'm gonna cut back. But since yesterday, I gained some weight. It's mostly sodium, water weight. I have to average out the calories that I ate yesterday. But today, I don't have any cooked protein. I don't have any cooked meals. What do you do when you wake up in the morning? You have to jet out the door. You head to work. You didn't have any stuff prepped, right? What do? How do you stick to your diet? How do you hit your macros if you're tracking your macros like me? What do I have to do right now in order to get there? In order to hit your macros, you have to hit protein, carbs, fat. Carbs and fats are usually easier to hit, they're easier to find, they're cheaper, and the main thing is you don't always have to cook them. In fact, very rarely do you have to cook them, unless you're having rice and stuff like that. But there's a lot of carbs that you can find that you don't have to cook. Proteins, on the other hand, the majority of them have to be cooked. So chicken, fish, beef, pork have to be cooked in order to eat them. And when you don't have time and you haven't meal prepped, or you didn't have time yesterday because it was your birthday and you just wanted to have fun and not worry about stuff. You don't have any meat today, you don't have any meat for tomorrow. Tonight I can cook for tomorrow, but today is that special day when you open the fridge and you realize that you have nothing to eat in order to satisfy those macros of yours. So what do? I'm gonna show you what I'm eating today, what I scavenged in my fridge and found in my cupboards and found in order for me to hit my macros. One important thing is how I use my protein powder. Okay, so oatmeal is usually part of my breakfast. There's some brown sugar in there. I eat it for the sake of getting carbs. So I can cook it in the microwave, which I usually do. I just add water, so this is an awesome breakfast on the go. Usually eat eggs with it, so today I'm gonna have some protein powder. There's 4 scoops of protein powder in here, and usually I don't recommend having this much protein powder per day because I don't recommend relying on protein powder for the majority of your daily protein intake. Today's a special case. I'm gonna break the rules, but generally I recommend that you have maybe 1 shake a day. I have 2 scoops usually maximum per day, not because it's unhealthy, but because I'd rather get my protein from chicken, beef, fish, like whole food protein sources, and get the benefits of that rather than just powder out of here. But that's basically how I use protein powder. I use it as sort of a fast food. For people on the go, it's convenient. You don't have to worry about taking it after your workout. I know I get a lot of questions about, I didn't work out today, can I still take protein powder? Yes, it's just a convenient way of getting your protein in when you don't have time to cook a steak, or if it's post-workout, it digests a little bit faster than eating a steak. I recommend it for on the go. Today, of course, I have a lot of carby sources. Peanut butter sandwich, that's fine. Bowl of ramen. Didn't have any meat. Usually I'll throw some meat into here if I have it. It's a really fast carb source, really high in carbs, moderately high in fat. It's actually pretty high in fat. There's like 28 grams of fat in this one bowl. But I usually throw some meat in here, like some eggs, or if I have steak, I'll just like chop up some steak or some chicken. I don't, so I'm gonna have some protein powder on the side. 2 Bite brownies, which I got for my birthday from Andrea's sister. Thank you very much. I love these things, but they're super high in calories. 2 of these brownies are 180 calories. Good for carbs, decently high in fats, 10 grams for 2 brownies. So my fat content's gonna be up today, but also low in protein, which is why I have to toss some protein powder in there. Apple pie. I bought a whole apple pie for my birthday, and I didn't get to finish it yesterday. I wanted to eat the whole thing, and I didn't eat any of it, actually, or maybe I had 1 slice in the morning. Great for carbs. There's probably some fat in there too in the crust. I love apple pie. I can usually fit this in my macros on a normal day, so it's gonna go towards my carbs. And none of these, even the peanut butter in the sandwich, would I count as a protein. When I put it into MyFitnessPal, it'll register whatever protein is in here, but I don't count these as protein sources. You can't count rice or beans and stuff as protein sources. I know vegetarians mix rice and beans to create a complete protein. That's fine. If you're not a vegetarian, I wouldn't count the little bits of protein here and there from carbs as a protein source. You generally want to get the most of your protein from whole foods, complete proteins, animal proteins, chicken, beef, fish, pork. Look at this guy. Peanut butter sandwich. Neo. In general, when I choose a protein powder, I like to choose ones that are high quality protein, so whey isolate if I can, which is a little bit more expensive, but hey, I pay the difference. Whey concentrate is what you usually find, but the really important part of choosing a protein powder is the taste. I'm just kidding. But taste is super important. I always get chocolate. Always get chocolate. But the ingredients list. So if you choose a protein powder and the ingredients list looks like, I don't know, like War and Peace, like it's a gigantic paragraph of stuff that you can't pronounce or you cannot recognize, then it's probably not the protein for you. There's probably a lot of fillers in it and a lot of useless stuff. So the protein that I use is called Diesel by Perfect Nutrition. I love their products. I'm not affiliated in any way with them. I've been using their products for a while. I love it. They're Canadian and the price is reasonable, the flavor is good, but more importantly, the ingredients list is super short. If I had the nutritional facts and the label here, I would show you, but looking up the nutritional facts for Diesel, the protein I use, so this is the vanilla flavor, whatever, it's pretty much the same. So if you look over here, the ingredients, we got Ultra Crossflow Microfiltered New Zealand Whey Protein Isolate, which is just a fancy way of saying whey protein isolate. It should be the main ingredient. Glutamine, leucine, isoleucine, valine, these are amino acids, natural flavors, and then stevia. Basically what you have is the protein, some BCAAs, which it says on the package itself that includes extra BCAAs per serving, natural flavoring, and stevia, which is a natural sweetener. So basically you have 3 ingredients: protein, flavors, and a natural sweetener. That's what you want to look for. A small ingredients list. Another thing to keep in mind when looking at an ingredients list is they go in an order, so they're not in a random order. Whatever comes first is what's in there the most. It goes from what ingredient is in there the most, what ingredient is in there the least. Here you got the first ingredient as the protein source, which is awesome. You got BCAAs, and then the least amount of stuff that's in there is the flavoring and the sweeteners. They're not taking up a lot of room for all the powder that's in there. There isn't a crap ton of sweetener, there isn't a crap ton of flavoring that they had to throw in there and reduce the protein to farther down the list or even last on the list. If you see a protein powder like that or another product which doesn't have the main ingredient as what you're buying, if it isn't, or if protein powder or the protein source is closer to the bottom of the list, then that's a red flag to tell you you're probably not getting the biggest bang for your buck. Let's look up another protein to compare it to, for example. Brand. Okay, here's another protein powder, which also is a whey isolate. This is IsoSurge by Mutant. I have nothing against this company, but I'm just want to show you to compare. The ingredients list is like this big. The first ingredient is protein isolate, which is good. Protein hydroxylate, which is another form, which is also good. But then the third ingredient is mini chocolate chips. Okay, this brand or this flavor is, what is this? It's probably like cookies and cream or something. But then after that you got, let's see, natural and artificial flavors, cream flavor, fractionated coconut oil, guar gum, potassium citrate, sucralose, soya, silicon dioxide, and a bunch of other stuff and numbers in brackets that you don't even know. So a lot of flavoring and coloring comes in numbers, like B, F, or E, whatever. Looking at this, you can see there's a bunch of ingredients that you don't even know what they are. You don't know if they're good for you. You don't know if they need them, but they're generally to increase the flavor or better the flavor of the product, or add a bunch of stuff, take a bunch of space in order for it to taste good, but not necessarily stuff that you need in your body. This has at least 10 ingredients on it, and only 2 or 3 of which are stuff that's needed, as in the protein or the chocolate chips that come with the cookies and cream. They don't really have a, I can't really compare it to the Perfect Sports diesel brand, which is a 5-pound here, but it's comparable in price. That's a 2-pound, the one that I was checking, or not even a 1.6. So it's comparable in price, but one is clearly much better quality and probably much better for you. I hope you guys learned something about how you go about choosing protein powder, how to use it as a fast food when you don't have time to cook. I learned something just by showing you that. I went on a website that I haven't been on in a long time, and now they have my protein powder on their website, and I can order it for free shipping. So we're all winners. If you don't like food, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you. Natural flavor,